Hello everybody and welcome back to a Monster Hunter Wilds bow video. And in this video, we are putting together a convert element bow build because you can proc convert element when you dodge an elemental attack. So for example, Rathalos breathing fire at you, Arkvulcan slamming his chain on you, Rathian also spitting fire at you, Blangonga's shooting ice at you. All of these things can be dodged with your perfect dodge, with your discerning dodge, and will proc convert element. And it's very exciting for me, and I want to talk about it, and I want to show you what build I'm running. Now, you're probably thinking, what is convert element? What does it do? So I'm going to just read it to you. After taking elemental damage, temporarily grants you dragon element effects. While active, deals extra dragon damage after dealing enough elemental damage, slightly increases dragon attack. Honestly, reading this, you're like, what does that mean? It honestly doesn't describe it very well, if I'm honest with you. It doesn't. Because the first time that I read it, I assumed that it was turning just giving me more dragon damage, elemental damage, which it does do. It does do that. If you are using a dragon weapon, in our case, of course, we're using a dragon bow, it will give you a substantial amount of extra dragon damage. However, you don't have to just only use it with a dragon elemental weapon. You can also use it with water, fire, thunder, ice. As long as you're using an elemental weapon, you can use it. Now, you're obviously not going to be getting more dragon damage on your water bow, but you will be getting this proc that happens. And it's a proc of damage. You can think of it as akin to something like blast damage, where it just happens periodically, and it can be anywhere from 280 damage on the lowest to 310 is the highest that I've seen it go. Yeah, 320, god damn. 320. So you're just proccing these periodic bursts of damage. And when that happens, the monster gets stunned. Like they go, wow, ow, Jesus. So you're actually stunning them quite a lot as well. You're doing a ton of extra damage. It's really nice. So what we're doing is we're using 3 pieces of the Arkvulcan armor. This is what is giving us the convert element. We also, as a nice little just extra thing, we get Arkveld's Hunger, where you regenerate a small amount of health as you continually attack a monster. So that's nice. And we're using 2-piece Gore. 2-piece Gore is just, it's just so good. It's just so damn good. It enables you to be infected with Black Eclipse. And then, of course, if you're using antivirus, then you are going to get more affinity when your frenzy is cured. So yeah, we're getting crit rate from antivirus. We have weakness exploit, max level, so we're also getting crit from that. I am running counterstrike because when you dodge and you get hit by some residual damage, it procs counterstrike on bow, and it gives you 25 attack. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. That's a lot of attack. Now, you do not have to use counterstrike if you don't want to. Honestly, the level 2 slot is just super, super flexible. You could go with peak performance if you wanted to, where you get more attack if you're full health. You could go with resentment if you want to. You could go with refresh, maybe just want to have some stamina surge. You could go with heroics if you're feeling crazy. You could go with destroyer. It's totally up to you. It really is. I do like counterstrike though, because I feel like counterstrike with convert element kind of works together because you're getting hit by elemental damage, right, to proc your convert element, and you're getting hit potentially by something to proc your counterstrike. So I just think it kind of works well together. And now we have adrenaline rush on here for an extra 10 attack. You can also go burst, which will give you a little bit of extra elemental damage and a little bit of extra raw damage. Just depends what you want to do. Depends what you want to do. I've used both. They both feel good. They both feel good. The other things that we have in here is I have just one extra constitution, so we're at constitution 3. That means that we can eat black belt and we can drink dash juice to basically be at constitution 5. And then for the bows, I'm using 2. Technically, we would be using 3. So I am using the G renowned Tristram. This is the Arkvulcan bow. This has close range coating on it, which is great. I have spread in here, dragon bandolier. This is giving us extra dragon attack. And then we have expert for some more crit because it is a negative affinity bow. This is my water bow. So we have spread, critical jewel, and stream bandolier. I would personally recommend using the Arkvulcan bow if you're fighting something that is even slightly weak to dragon, because you're going to boost that dragon damage. Other than that, I would use either the Artian fire bow or the Artian water bow, depending on which one they are most weak to. If you don't want to use Artian stuff, you don't have to. Not important. Just if you want to be optimal. And then I also added coalescence, by the way. I forgot to mention that. We also added coalescence. This gives us a little bit more of elemental damage when we cure frenzy, which we're doing all the time. Now, it is worth noting that if you are wanting to use the convert element build, convert element will not proc ever if you are just using Dragon Piercer. It doesn't proc off of Dragon Piercer. It doesn't proc off of Thousand Dragons. It will not proc if you have Tracer active and you're shooting arrows at a Tracer. It also will not proc if you're using Pierce coding. I tried it out. I thought it might be really fun and cool, and I could not get it to proc personally and when I was playing the game against various monsters. If you find something different, please do let me know. But it's worth noting that the playstyle for using convert element is very much so shooting your bow with R2 and pressing circle to do your spread, power volley, all that kind of stuff. That's going to be the playstyle that you're doing. So what do I think is the overall viability of this build? I actually think it's really good. I mean, at the worst, it's incredibly fun and doing just as well as many other builds that I've used in the game. So that's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario, it is stunning monsters pretty consistently when that big burst of element procs. You're doing a ton of extra damage over time. You have a buff that lasts for 2 minutes. Now, granted, it does go on cooldown for 90 seconds, but even when it's on cooldown, the damage that we have in our build is good, right? Because we have the antivirus, so we're getting extra affinity. We have a little bit of adrenaline rush or burst, whichever one you decide to do. We've got counterstrike going on. Like, we have a lot of damage when it is not converting elements. Now, when we do convert elements, we just get extra damage. So I really, really do like it. I think it is very, very fun. And I think that at least where I'm at right now, if I want to play an element build against a monster that inflicts some type of element damage, I'm going to use my convert element build. Now, when it comes to using it against something like Gore or Shay Wu, they obviously do not have an attack that inflicts an element on you. So if you did want to use convert element against them, you would have to go and grab another monster and either get hit by an attack and then go to the monster you're actually fighting, or you could lure them to the fight so that you could just get hit by it eventually. Okay, convert some elements. Convert my elements. Thank you, bye! If you want to do that, you definitely can, because the buff, like I said, it lasts for 2 minutes. So it's a total viable thing that you did. I have done it and you can do it and it feels great, but I can see that that would be a little bit annoying. So against those kind of monsters, maybe you don't want to use this build. But against everything else, like, this is going to be my go-to thing. It's just so fun. It's so fun seeing the big procs of damage, the monster flinching, the dragon effects that happen on your bow. If you happen to be using a dragon bow plus this effect, the effects are insane. They look super freaking cool. And then if you're not using a dragon bow, you still get to see that cool, like, crackling of dragon energy around your bow, which it just looks really cool. Now, I don't know if I could make a better version of this build. You can get a talisman that has 1 point of convert element. And currently you cannot upgrade that. If you can upgrade it in the future, that definitely opens a lot more build opportunities. But I was really struggling to find a way to get max weakness exploit and have convert element if I didn't use the weakness exploit talisman. So if you guys have any thoughts on what you would like to add to the build, or you try it out and you're like, oh, I tried it with this and that was really cool, I would love to know, because it is so fun learning about all the different builds and all the different abilities and what they do and what moves actually proc them, that I would absolutely love to know. And that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like. If you end up enjoying the build after you give it a try, come back and tell me what you think of it, or hop in the stream and tell me what you think about it. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye. Oh, big convert elements. Oh my God. So much element conversion. Dude, what the heck? She can't move.